So something I noticed when we came back to the room, because we do have the trick-or-treating tonight, and the reason I'm showing you this empty bed is because every Halloween on the High Seas cruise that we've done, when we come back to our cabin, there are trick-or-treat bags waiting for us. And our trick-or-treat time is at 5 o'clock, which is in like an hour, and we don't have a bag. So we'll probably just use like, the Castaway Cay Club bag that they give us, or like the wet dry bag or something else, because we didn't bring anything, obviously. But yeah, so I guess they don't always give you bags, so just keep that in mind. Have a bag handy that you can use for your trick-or-treating and Halloween and all that. Happy Halloween! Thank you so much. Thank you. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, thanks.
What's going on, everyone? So, this quick reaction from our trick-or-treating experience here on the Disney Wish. Now, we've done 2 of these other cruises, Halloween on the High Seas.
So far,
two other cruises. This is our first one on the Disney Wish, which is one of the top ships in the fleet, one of the highest capacity ships in the fleet. What just happened?
I don't know what just happened. So they decided, usually, at least what we've experienced on the Dream and the Magic, was they would have 2 separate times for the 2 different dinner times for people to go and do their trick-or-treating, so that way it wasn't everyone all at once. They also had it to where they had stations set up where it would go through like the buffet area. I know on the Magic we had bad weather, so it ended up being indoors.
Indoors, but it wasn't.
But even with that inconvenience, they were able to set up stations almost immediately kind of throughout the ship, and they had a good amount of stations set up, so you still got good candy. When we were on the Dream, we also made friends with one of the people. He was literally just dumping boxes of candy in our bags and
just
stuff.
Endless boxes. They're pulling boxes
it was
out of
insane.
the back
They
like
were just
crazy.
ripping it and just handing candy out.
Endless boxes.
Yeah.
And today,
what they did.
All right, so first off, we didn't even notice it because we have the later dining time. We saw 5 o'clock for the trick-or-treating. And we're like, oh, it's 5 o'clock for us. There must be one at like maybe 9 or 9:30 for the...
Right.
It was just one.
We didn't realize until literally like 10 minutes.
And by the way, all aboard time is 4:30. So there are people, again, I guess it's your fault kind of if you think about it, but like if you're getting on the boat at like 4:15,
right?
Like, you're not gonna make it to 5. Probably not. Like a 5 o'clock.
Especially in your costume
for
and
a
everything.
Halloween on the High Seas cruise. That's what this is called.
Also, there were some people like. We were gonna get dressed, but it's so hot outside right now, and with our costumes, we would have been dying. So kudos to the people who did dress up already, because like we were sweating just walking around in our regular clothes right now.
So this is what happened. So I like to hear the horns when they go off.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite things to do on a Disney. So we're up there on deck, 12 or 13. The horns go off, and they're setting up the stations. We see it around deck 11, around the pool, and around the food area. They're setting up a few tables. I probably counted like 3, I think I actually saw getting set up.
Mm-hmm.
Turned out there was 4. So there were 4
stations.
total tables. Which, okay, you want to do 4. And then we found out that this is the only one. So the entire ship is going to come to deck 11 for these 4 tables. And I'm like, all right, like, it's going to be crazy, but that's cool. So...
Well, we didn't realize, too, we saw the 4 tables, right?
Mm-hmm.
We went to one station thinking, oh, that's where we have to pick up our bag, because they didn't have bags in the room like they usually do on the other ships. So we were like, all right, we have to come here to get our bag. And the way that it had the line, it was towards the left of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So we start to go that way, but then we realize everyone's walking towards us. So we're like, oh no, we got to go this way. But then we started going that way, and then they weren't giving out handfuls of candy. They were giving out just more of the bags. So we didn't even have to wait on that first line to get the bag.
So our other 2 Halloween on the high sea cruises, they come to your stateroom, give you the bags for your trick-or-treating. So we didn't get bags. So we were thinking, okay, we'll just bring our own bag, or maybe they're whatever. So then we got there and we saw they were giving out bags. So I'm like, oh, okay, that explains that. And so we wait on this line, we get a bag, and we're like, all right, this is our bag. It already had
some candy in it.
Yeah, a little bit of
candy.
candy.
All right, that's probably just the start of it.
And I'm assuming this is the start, and then you'll go in a full circle, and then you're done.
Right.
Your 4 tables.
Well, and then we got to the next one, and we went, and he went to go grab, I guess, because there was another bag out, because we weren't sure how they were doing, and he's like, oh no, let me give you some, I don't want to waste. So we were like, oh, okay.
That makes sense.
I guess they're just having them at the tables in case people don't have bags.
Right.
And then we get to the next one, and then they hand us a bag. So now we're confused, because we're like, wait, are we just supposed to grab more bags?
Right.
Or are you actually giving us the candy? So as we're walking towards it, we're going towards Marceline Market. So I'm like, oh, well, they always have it in the buffet area. So we're going to go through the buffet, and then we'll come out, and then we'll do what other tables they have. They didn't have it in Marceline Market. You literally went through the first 2 tables. Again, every single person on this ship that is doing trick-or-treating all at once is now in this line. So it took us forever to get out to the next stations, right? We get out there, there's 2 more tables, and then the first table we finally get to, they run out of candy.
They ran out of candy.
They said, we don't have any more.
It was 5:10, by the way. The event was supposed to start at 5. I think they started a little bit early, but, I mean, the crowds were coming at like 5:05. So, I mean, you're talking about running out of candy at a station when there's only 4 stations
There's only
in
4
10
stations.
minutes, which is insane. I mean, again, our experience with other cruises is boxes, and they're pulling these things out left and right, the boxes and boxes and boxes of candy. I mean, like crazy. And I think I saw like 3 or 4 boxes.
They had 3 or 4 boxes each.
Like they went through, and I was like, I think we got a full box.
Right.
Our last cruise.
And they ran out of candy, and they say, oh, go to the next table.
Yeah.
So now we're still stuck in the same line. We get to the next table, they ran out of candy. So the people in front of us hadn't even gotten a bag yet. They had gotten a bag from them, because they were like, oh, here. And then the woman's saying, oh, we're ending our candy thing, we don't have any more. I think she was trying to save face as to like why they just ran out of candy, because at one point they were taking it just out of the bag and giving people one and stuff.
And I'm like, all right. I mean, we got, again, compared to others, we got, 2 or 3 little.
Yeah.
I don't know if I guess they're over there. Little bags. I mean, again, not but we've come home with like ridiculous amounts of candy.
Here, I'll show.
But the
So, we have 3 bags that size.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm happy to get candy of any amount. Like, this is
When
whatever.
we were on the Dream, we came home, I'm not kidding.
Yeah, right.
This bag was filled. It lasted us, a year of Halloween candy. And again, I don't want that much candy. Again, we made friends with someone who worked on the cruise, and he was just dumping in our bag. But,
just comparative.
I think the amount of candy we had on the Dream is how much candy they had on this ship.
They had, I mean...
And I feel so bad because there were little kids coming up to do the trick-or-treating, and they were finishing
And then we were leaving. Again, it's 5:15 at this point, which you're doing 15 minutes.
But also, it wasn't even the fact that it was constant moving for 15 minutes. When we've done it before, it was a constant motion. You were moving through the stations. We were at a standstill for 10 minutes. So for 10 minutes, we were just lucky we got there early. Yeah. Because the horns went off, and we were like, all right, let's go down and check it out. And they already started giving out candy. It was probably like 4:55. So it wasn't like they started like an hour ago giving out candy. Like it was a little early. But like, so... And then we're done. We're leaving, and there's still a huge line of people coming out of the deck area. And and people were just like, "Oh, is this the line to get candy?" And blah blah. I'm walking out. I'm like, "They're out of candy," and I'm like, I kind of stopped. I was like, some of the stations are out of candy. I don't know if all of them, because we saw 2, which half of the stations were out of candy that we know of. Maybe they all were. I have no idea. If you're only gonna make it 15 minutes. And it's for the entire ship. You need to have
a lot of candy.
Stations.
First off, more stations to alleviate
what just
the
happened.
capacity. I mean, this is what, 3,000 person ship?
Right, and they said that they're at full capacity.
3,000 people on the ship.
So.
And again, not everybody's doing this. I understand that, but this is a big. I mean, this is the Halloween on the High Seas cruise. It's a big reason to come on the ship, especially if you want to celebrate Halloween.
Like I was upset just seeing it wasn't going through Marceline Market, and I was like, this is why the line's so long, this is why we're not moving. It's like, why wouldn't they utilize that space with this many people? And then when I saw it was only 4 stations, I was like, oh my god, this is so disorganized. And then they ran out of candy. So it was just like, it was back to back to back.
Very lucky.
Yeah,
we're on the ship right now.
We're fine. We don't need candy, we were just in such shock when it was happening that we were like, okay, we want to make a quick video about it, because it was just... And again, we're upset about candy and stuff. There's a lot of other problems in the world right now. I don't want to make this seem like this is the end of the world, but this is a lot of money for a lot of families that have saved up for this trip for a long time to do this Halloween cruise, and there's these little kids in costumes right now who aren't going to get candy, and that's really sad. Like, that's really sad for those kids. And again, they'll get over it. It's whatever. But, you know, there's going to be so many kids who are on the ship who are going to be really upset. Is this the first Halloween on the High Seas cruise, or have they done other ones this year? I think this is the first one. Right. Which is also crazy. Because then wouldn't that mean that you have all the candy for the rest of the season? Just start bringing out boxes, like, gauge
so maybe,
it, you know?
Again,
I don't know.
That's not an excuse to whatever, but, like, if they were just like, oh, crap. And again, this isn't the first season that Wish has sailed. And
it's also not the first time that Disney's done this. They have other ships.
You should know how much candy to bring, especially for this ship.
Maybe that's why Jack and Sally's not on this one, too.
They ate all the candy?
No.
And they died?
No, because it was the first.
Maybe. And I mean...
I don't know.
Again, it's not an excuse, but it's...
No. But the thing is, though, too, is... Like, the Wish and the Treasure are so much more expensive than... And especially for a 3-night cruise. So much more expensive. Where you could do a 7-night cruise on the Dream or the Fantasy or something like that. Yeah. And it's just... Yeah, it's hard to wrap my head around.
Keep in mind, if you are taking a Halloween on the High Seas cruise... Maybe they'll fix it. I don't know. This was September 2025. Maybe they're going to fix it in the coming weeks or months. There's only one trick-or-treat time for 15 minutes at 4 tables for 3,000 people. Bananas crazy. That's nuts. So hopefully they fix it. Disney, if you're watching or not, take note of this. Try to do better. But yeah, it was chaos, and then not a good outcome. It was so unorganized, and again, we weren't the only people saying this. I know we've done this before. I mean, I could see there were people who maybe aren't novice, who are novice cruisers to Disney, and even they were kind of like, what's happening right now? Like, where do we go? Where are the stations? Where do we get bags? Like, it was a lot of confusion, and then it was over. And then, so, anyway, keep that in mind if you're going on Halloween on the High seas cruise. We're gonna get dressed in our costumes now. We're gonna have a good rest of our night. We got candy. I feel bad for those who didn't.
Maybe we'll find some kids that don't have it.
Right, maybe we can go back up there and see if there's any crying children that we can help out. Because I'm sure there's a lot of them. Alright, yeah, Halloween on the high seas, Disney Wish. Alright, time for the costume reveal. Maybe you can already guess it just by looking at the bottom of my pants. But here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Miss Poppins.
Well, hello, Bert.
We then went downstairs to check out any Halloween meet and greets they had or Halloween activities they had going on, but they really didn't have a lot going on. We'll talk about this more a little later, but we ended up just taking some pictures and hanging around the atrium, just waiting for our dinner time to start. Alright, which towel did we get tonight? Drum roll, please. Something. It's a pumpkin. Look how cute that is. Such talent. What's going on, everyone?
So, sadly, we are home. It went so fast.
3 days is not enough time.
Definitely not enough time.
But it worked for us. What we were looking for in this cruise, it did work for us. I mean, with the kids at home, we had a short window. And so for us, it made sense.
Yeah. And we still had a lot of fun and stuff. Yeah. We meant to take some videos and stuff at breakfast and kind of the rest of the night in a way, but it went so quick. The second dinner was over last night, and we had to get off the ship pretty early this morning to make sure we got to the airport on time.
Yeah. I mean, we just want to kind of fill you in on what happened with the rest of the Halloween on the high seas, and just kind of recap the Halloween stuff. Obviously, we discussed the trick-or-treating debacle, and now we wanted to just kind of discuss the rest of the night, which sadly there was too much to discuss. Yeah. But we'll get into that.
So again, kind of like with the trick-or-treating, they only had one time for that, and when we've been on the other ships, they've had a different time for both the trick-or-treating and the masquerade party. They didn't have that with this one, so they also only had one showing for the masquerade party, and it was right when we were finishing like dinner. And so like we weren't done with dinner yet when it had started, so we kind of just decided like not to go. Again, we've seen it before. It's really cute. You know, all the characters are in their costumes and they do a little show, and then they come out and they kind of dance with you, and it is a lot of fun. But again, we weren't even done with dinner yet, so that was something that we kind of missed this time.
Yeah, it did seem there was limited windows, and again, I'm not sure if it was because of the short 3-day cruise, but it did seem with this cruise that there were, you know, not as much offerings. But yeah, when we were, because again, that the masquerade party, again, it is geared more towards kids. You know, the characters come out and they're dancing with the kids, and it's a lot of fun. But for adults, it's more just, oh, look at the kids dancing. I mean, you get to see the characters dressed up in their costumes, which is cool. But after about like 5 or 10 minutes, you're like, all right, I'm kind of good.
Well, the thing that was weird too is like, because we decided not to go to the Aladdin show once we were done getting dressed, because it's always been too, we've noticed like when we usually go to dinner, because we usually have the earlier dinner time, while we're going to dinner, they have characters out, they're doing lots of pictures and stuff with those who are going to the second dinner. So we were like, all right, we'll see, because we didn't get to see any characters while we were on the ship. So we were like, all right, we'll go and kind of like see the characters and whatnot. They had nothing going on. Yeah,
because that was kind of our plan. We were going to go down to the atrium because we were having dinner at 1923. And usually there's tons of characters out in their Halloween outfits. You know, you got Mickey and Minnie and Donald, Daisy, Chippendale, Goofy. There's usually, you know, usually Captain Hook too, and all that kind of stuff. And there wasn't a single character meet and greet.
There was no character meet and greets. They were just kind of setting up the ropes for pictures, but again, that was going to be for the people after the early dinner time. So when we were going to dinner, we were missing out on like the photo shoots that they were doing then too, which is weird because it's not like the cruise was empty. Like our dinner time was like packed, so it's just weird. It seemed like they geared it more towards whoever had the earlier dinner, which is not fair. So that was one thing that kind of like.
I mean, I guess I'll wrap my head around the logic of it. If you do have kids and you want to get the kids to the meet and greets, and the only times you could do it are the early dinner or the late dinner, then I guess you'll pick the late dinner because most families go to the early dinner because kids usually don't stay up too late. I guess that's the logic, but just have two of them.
Yeah, but even when we've been on other cruise ships, though, they've always had something going on during both the times. And the fact that this is a much larger ship with a lot more people, it's not like they're like, oh, well, we don't have that many people to do it a second. You know what I mean? So yeah, that was kind of not great. A little disappointing. And two, we had where we decided like, all right, after dinner, maybe we could try to do something. But we ran back to the room. We started packing to try to get our suitcases ready for the next morning.
It went really quick. I think we didn't anticipate that. Because, like, after dinner, we're like, oh, we got to get our bags out by 10:30. And I'm like, because that's when they come around to pick it. I think we got them out a little later. I think our person was like, it's all right if it's a little later. But we had to get our bags out. So, you know, we had to run back to the room, get that packed, get it out.
Change, obviously, out of our costumes.
Out of our costumes.
And, like, we had finished dinner at, like, 9:30.
Not super comfortable eating dinner in that. It was a bit heavy. Yeah. And a little tight. That's a lot of food to fit into tight pants. And you were in like a full Victorian ball gown. So Victorian ball gown. But yeah, so I mean, it did go quicker than we thought. And then, like you said, there really wasn't the masquerade party. And then the Oogie Boogie.
They had like the Oogie Boogie kind of bash thing going on or whatever they wanted to call it. Which that was cute. I mean, they had, you know, some characters would show up on the screen and Oogie Boogie would come out and dance with you and stuff. But
again, there wasn't like a crazy amount of people there, so it was, you know, something small. And we kind of just like checked it out real quick just to kind of see what was going on. But again, we had to like, just kind of.
Yeah, everything went. Yeah, that was the problem. Everything went kind of quick. And again, it is slight nitpicking here, but also maybe not, depending how you look at it. But like, this is a Halloween on the High Seas cruise, so for them to have limited offerings as opposed to other cruise ships, or very short windows for those offerings, is a little disappointing. Again, we're nitpicking here, you know, we'll tell you whatever, but it's a lot of money, and people go on the Halloween on the High Seas cruises intentionally to experience these Halloween meet and greets that usually you can't see in the parks, or you could only see in the Halloween, the Mickey's Not So Scary, where you have to pay almost, you know, a family of five, $1,000 right there. So I mean, it is a big draw to be like, ooh, we can meet these characters, and A, not have to wait hours, and B, not have to buy a Mickey Not So Scary ticket. And then the other offerings were just meh. There was it didn't really feel like a Halloween cruise. I guess maybe that's the main takeaway. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing that was weird too is like on all the other days we felt like there was so many offerings that they had for so many things, to the point where you kind of had to pick, do I want to go to the show, or do I want to go to this? So that's why when we figured, okay, it's Halloween night, there's going to be stuff that we're going to want to do during the time of our show, and all this kind of stuff, because they've been jamming in so many things. We don't want to miss out on something, so we'll just.
Which isn't a bad thing.
No, which isn't a bad thing.
I understand. It's a 3-day cruise. You have to jam stuff in.
And I think because it was 3 days, they pretty much took what they would have on a longer cruise and just, you know. But then it was weird because it was like, then the Halloween day, they didn't do that.
They didn't have a lot. And yeah, I mean, we chose to skip the Aladdin show because we've seen it, and we've also seen iterations of the genie in different kind of shows and stuff. Which again, the genie is kind of that big draw for the Aladdin show. You know, he's funny, all the references and all that kind of stuff. But we've kind of seen it, so we were just like, all right, even though I'm sure it's good, Aladdin's my favorite Disney movie. Like, we're gonna skip it to enjoy the Halloween aspect of this cruise. And
it just was kind of non-existent.
There just wasn't stuff to do. Again, it could have been the late dining time. Maybe if we had the earlier dining, there would have been more for us to do. So maybe
something to keep in mind too when you do a 3-night cruise. Maybe try to stick with the earlier dining time, because it seemed as though they had a lot more.
I would say, I'd say for families, definitely. If you have little kids who want to meet the characters, definitely. But if you are the adults, and again, this is why we kind of did this video series for adults, I feel like there's not a ton of adults who are going to be super bummed that they'll miss character meet and greets. There are some that will be.
But I feel like though too, like again, and it was a 3-night. So the first night you have the characters in their regular costume. The second night it was pirate night, so they were in those costumes. And then the third night they were in their Halloween ones. So we only had one day to see them in their Halloween costumes, and then we didn't get to see them. Whereas like on a 7-night cruise, like when we did we did the Dream, and like that one was a Halloween on the High Seas. So I think it was a 5-night. They had multiple nights where you had different characters out in their Halloween costumes. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a little.
Yeah, and again, if that is important to you, choose the earlier dining time. That would be our suggestion. If you're doing the Wish on Halloween on the High Seas, choose the earlier dining time to try and meet more characters. And then other than that, I mean, we've done this. Like, so maybe that's part of it, that we've done this so many times that we're kind of like, maybe it's, you know,
I feel like though, even
missing out on too
much.
If
we're not talking about the Halloween one, I feel like the characters weren't out as often as they were on other cruises.
That's true.
Because there were times where we were just like, oh, like let's, like even when we were on Castaway Cay, like we went over to go see like Mickey, and he wasn't out for that long, and they're like, oh, Mickey's going away now, and then he wasn't coming back, and it was only
we just got on the island.
Yeah,
we were.
And so I was like, oh, okay, like so it was just like
that's when we were. But it was still pretty early. It was pretty early.
And maybe again, like, because we were on the Treasure, and we noticed with the Treasure, like, the staff were, like, kind of, you know, a little bit more more stretched thinly. So like,
Overwhelmed,
I don't know if it's just like they don't have enough staff to be able to have the characters out constantly because there's so much going on.
It's wild to me that again, with the treasure, I'll give them a pass. It still was inaugural sailings. It's still a new crew you're training. But for the Wish, this is, at this point, a seasoned ship. Right. This is not a new ship where you'd be like, oh, they're working stuff out. The Wish has been around for a while now. Mm-hmm. And that can't be an excuse. If that is the excuse, then that's going to be a ship-wide issue because they've obviously changed staffing again. But we've sailed post-COVID. We've sailed these ships, and I don't think it's a staffing issue. No. Well, a staffing issue in the terms of they should have figured it out. Obviously, they could use more staffing. Yes. But they should have figured this out by now. When we go on the Dream and the Fantasy, it's never an issue. I feel like we're staffed, and maybe we'll have to do another fantasy cruise. Yeah. Maybe it's a new thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a 2025. Now that's just staffing issues for the entire fleet.
I will say with the Wish, I feel like the staff wasn't as overwhelmed as the Treasure. So like when we were going for dinners and stuff on the Treasure, like our waitress and the assistant server, like they were both really nice and they were great, but we didn't get any time to talk to them. Like we didn't get it wasn't as personal as like we felt on past cruises because they were just so busy. They had like no time to like stop and talk. Whereas this time, like especially at 1923, our assistant server, Matthias, he was wonderful. He had only been on the ship for about a month. He was like the happiest person ever. It was so cute. And like, I guess he's from Brazil, so he had never gotten to really experience Halloween before, and this was the first Halloween sailing for the year. And like when we came in, he was so excited to see us dressed up, and like he was like really spending time with us and talking to us, and like it was nice because again, you get that like personalization where you get to like, I don't know, find out about them and they find out about you, and you kind of like make that connection, and that's what makes you also want to come back on the ship because then you want to see them again. Like we're hoping that we can possibly do a Christmas one, and like if we do the Wish, we definitely are going to try to request our server and assistant server again.
Right. Because that's a big part of it. Again, everyone's different what they're looking for on a cruise. For us, we love the dinner. I think that is a huge part of it. The dinner, the shows, I think are two really big things. For us. So having that really good staff is important to us. And even though Matthias, he's a relatively new hire, not his first cruise, but I mean, he was a couple months he'd been doing it. You could tell he wasn't even though, whatever, maybe he's a little inexperienced or not everything is no one's perfect, but whatever. You could tell he had time to talk to people. Yeah. He had time to interact with the tables and get our drinks and do all this stuff. Even though he was busy, he was still running around. He still had time to interact. On the Treasure, we could tell, especially with our assistant server, who was very friendly, similar friendliness, wanted to interact with us. I feel like he just couldn't. Yeah. So that was kind of different. And the Treasure, again, inaugural sailings, they're figuring stuff out. He is, here on the Wish, Matthias, new server, had time. On the Treasure, new server didn't have time. Right. So there's obviously, some staffing issues with that, or at least getting used to the new boat and the Treasure. But anyway, maybe that's a conversation for a different video. But like, it was still a good time.
No, I mean, I still had so much fun. Again, we are like, because we've been on, this is now our 6th cruise, so like, it's interesting to see how different each ship is, each sailing is, and the stuff that kind of comes up with it.
That'll be our next video.
Yeah, so we'll kind of, I think we'll make another one kind of going over our favorite ship, like what we loved about it, the differences that we kind of feel between all of them, and all that kind of stuff.
Silver and gold. Castaway silver to Castaway gold. So we can talk about that.
So we'll make another thing about that. And we still had such a great time. And I know we're kind of nitpicking. And I think it's just because we only had the 3 days. So like we wanted 3 days is not enough time to do everything on a Disney cruise ship. But if you still want to go and get to kind of get your feet wet And
it's a good,
it's a good starter cruise.
It's
definitely.
a great starter cruise. If you're new to Disney, it's really good. If you're with like inexperienced cruisers who you don't know how they're going to react, again, seasickness over here. If they get claustrophobic, if they're not good with dealing with the the confines of the cabin, maybe it's a good thing to try. But if you are really looking to experience Halloween on the high seas and everything it has to offer, I would say go with a longer cruise.
7 nights.
7 nights.
Yeah.
They do longer.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's too longer.
Yeah, they have like 14-night
40.
ones. They go to like Hawaii, and I think those are probably even better. But
no, one day we'll get that vlog out to you one day.
We were so tempted this year to do it, but with the kids, it's just not possible at this point. But even just the 3 days, our son was kind of struggling without us being home. So
yeah, that was the other problem.
Yeah.
But next time we'll have the kids, and then we won't feel bad.
That is true.
We'll just drop them off at the kids club and never see them again.
But yeah, I mean, overall, again, it was a great time, and
yeah, like I said, Halloween on the high seas, we've done it multiple times. That wasn't the main reason for us to go on this cruise ship. It was to celebrate our anniversary.
Yeah.
It was to get away from the kids, enjoy ourselves as normal humans, and have a good time. And mission accomplished on all those things. We definitely had a great time. But as far as the Halloween on the high seas aspect of this, I wouldn't. We got that survey too at the end, where they give you a survey at the end of your cruise for every cruise ship. Glowing reviews for everything. I just thought the Halloween on the high seas was a miss. I thought it could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I think. I think if you do want to do a Halloween on the high seas, at least maybe do a 4-day one if you want to do the Wish.
That's true.
Just to kind of give you that extra day where you don't have something going on constantly, because that was another thing too, is there was just so much, the first night's the first night that you're on the ship, so you're getting used to everything, where everything is, and then the second night was pirate night, so then it was like you had to race around to go see the fireworks and do all that stuff, and then the third night was the Halloween, which is then you had to race to go see the party and do all that kind of stuff. So it was like, it was always something happening.
Right.
And maybe you would like that. Maybe you want something that's like filled, action-packed, something to do every day. But I think if we were to do like another 3-day, I would like it to just be maybe a regular cruise where nothing's really going on.
Yeah.
Just so that you don't have something, you know what I mean? Like, so just to have a little bit more of a relaxing aspect to it.
Yeah. Let's book a Christmas cruise.
More than the same thing.
3 nights.
Yeah.
That's a hot take for another video. Kind of over the pirate.
Yeah. I wish they
especially on a 3-day. You don't have to do it every time.
Right.
You have to do it on all the cruises.
Maybe pick and choose. Like if it is going to be like a Halloween night, you're like, no, we're just going to do.
You can go off on a tangent. But anyway, we're going to do a separate, like we said, kind of a wrap up of our thoughts on all the ships, our thoughts on Castaway, Silver and Gold, and the different benefits to that. But that's pretty much a wrap on our Disney Wish 2025 series. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate everything, all the comments, subscribers, everyone who's joined us for this journey. We got a lot more coming at you. We have our Disney Parks trip coming up, where we're going to be going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, so keep an eye out for that video. That's going to be cool. And of course, everything going on at Epcot and Hollywood and all that jazz. So again, thank you for watching, everybody. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe. Don't miss the next few videos, because we got another fun, exciting series coming at you. And that's all I got. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.